with MakingStarWars.net.
Konnichiwa, I'm Jason Moore from MakingStarWars.net, and today I got Force Ghost Rob and the Bulletin, Costanza. How's it going,
He's a
Costanza?
mustache now.
And Ghost?
Hey, I got a question for you guys.
Yeah?
You guys gonna play The Legend of Cal Kestis Tears of the Empire today? You playing it?
No. I will, though. I will play it, but I got too much stuff, actually, like that I'm playing to jump in on that one at the moment, and that one
Fortnite.
Well, obviously, you know, battle droids are coming, Rob. Battle droids are coming.
They are coming.
Are you ready?
Filoni texts me that every night, like at exactly 9:45 p.m. I don't know if you're aware of that, but
Battle droids are coming. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just text back, Roger. Like it's been that way for a year. I don't know why.
Yeah. But by the way, I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little mean to Bob Iger, but there's this like article that comes out yesterday, and Bob Iger's like, I'm very bullish on AI, and he's like all talking up AI and how AI is good for the consumer. I'm seeing through that shit. Like that's trying to tell people that AI is great for consumers, and the writers should shut the fuck up, right? Am I crazy? Because that's what I think it is.
Yep.
I think it's a strategy, and there's people, they're being very nice about it because they call them a fuckface, but people are being nice about it. They're like, I think he's just saying, like, you know, it's like AI. Like, I like to make funny pictures on my computer using it, and it's like, I don't think that's what this is. This is about, you know, debasing the writers. I was thinking about that, like when I was driving yesterday, and I was like, I heard this like really like a good version of Freddie Mercury doing Yesterday. And I'm like, well, there's some AI for you. And then I'm like, and I'm talking about Indiana Jones, where we have young Indiana Jones swinging around on a fucking rope at like 35 years old. And I'm like, and they're telling the writers, don't worry about AI right now. Like, I'm like, I don't know about that one, you guys. I think now's the time to worry about it.
The Oral Knots got Wilford Brimley to do Ice Ice Baby for like 68 seconds straight. Like,
Nice.
You know, with AI. So yeah.
So I'm like, I was just like, I saw that, and I was like, fuck you, Bob Iger. You're full of shit. You're a pretty charming guy sometimes, but right now that was pretty. I felt like it was a bit little easy for him. I'm like, come on, man. You own Palpatine. Like, own that, okay? Do better. But anyways,
he did give you some good news though. Like, Hulu content is coming to Disney Plus in some form.
Yeah.
So
no. I read into that. It's not the case. It's just going to be, you can access the Hulu content, but you still have to like have the dual subscription or whatever. So like it's like a hub world, you know, like Steam. You know?
Yeah, they're referring to it as one app, right? That's going to launch by the end of the year.
Right. You know what AI is going to be good for? Replacing CEOs. Because I mean, we can all make stupid decisions. I mean, I could find a way to trim $230 million out of their annual budget right now. You know?
Yeah. I guess not that it really matters, but their like stock price is down, I think 8% today based off of the shit from yesterday. So it didn't go over swimmingly. But but we're going to hear in the Star Wars conversation that it's because transgendered wokeness on Disney Plus. That's what is going to get pushed around here. But Iger's claiming that it's cricket. It's the loss of cricket, and what's that service that they had or that they have that they like lost? You know what it is, Bespin?
Yeah, it's in India. Hotstar.
They still have Hotstar though, right? But the biggest appeal of it was the cricket. Like, but the thing is, like, they've lost 4 million subscribers in this quarter, and they're blaming it primarily on Hotstar numbers. Mm-hmm. But they got rid of the cricket in the quarter before, which is how they lost 2 million subscribers. So unless like a lot of people caught on after the fact,
that's what I was thinking. Is that people caught on after the fact? But at the same time, like by saying in which market they lost those subscribers would be the confirmation. Without knowing that, it's hard to say, right? I mean, like,
yeah, they said you lost 300,000 in like the US as well, but it gained 1 million like internationally.
Okay.
It's so hard to say. Like, I tune into like Disney Plus in different regions, you know, with the VPN, and like, and there's still ways to do it, even though they figured we can detect, but you can get around that. And like, it's like Australia, Disney Hotstar, they have Disney Hotstar in Australia, and it has like all Master Chefs on there and shit, you know. And then like you go to Disney Star or whatever on the UK side, and it's got like a bunch of like it's got like Predator, you know, and Die Hard and shit like that on there. And then you go to ours, and it's fucking Peter Pan and this Pinocchio sequel shit. You know what I mean? You're just like fucking this fucking thing, dude. You know, hey, you want to watch DC Dog? You know what I mean? You can watch a dog bitch slap cast from the Ted Conway. Like, I mean, like, it's so fucking corny, man. Like I get it says Disney, but like, even Eisner and them knew better to have Down and Out in Beverly Hills. You know what I mean? Pretty Woman, like, you know, like not 102 Dalmatians or 103 Dalmatians and 104 Dalmatians and 105 Dalmatians, 106 Dalmatians. So it's just not the same everywhere. I could see.
You just said that. Iger was hearing cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching as you were saying it. So
and
AI can make more Dalmatians.
we pay the same as you guys, like, which is the crazy part. Like I'm
tired of the United States subsidizing these other countries. Is that what's happening? I mean, no, but I think we're just being ripped off. Is actually what it is, because
I think it's ridiculous. You have to pay the same as us. Like, I think ours is underpriced. Like, because it's basically two like services in one. Like, I think we're underpaying, whereas you're overpaying.
They just need to rip off the Band-Aid and let the, you know, right now, while there's people in Florida acting like maniacs over Mickey Mouse and whatever delusion they have going on, just at this time, while they're doing that, go and then just put all of the content on the Disney Plus like you do in the European markets, and then let the person who saw a nipple freak out, you know, on something, and then we can move on, and they could go up about the future, because it's just like we're the whole thing is being held back out of fear of this of the crazy people who just don't know how to like turn on the child protection, you know, stuff on it, the password. So fucking do that, and let's like move on from it, and let those people fucking cry about it, but we can't get our Hulu content though because of the Comcast deal though. Is that the real like issue at the end of the day?
Well, they're gonna buy them out.
They are going to buy them out.
That's how like this like one app experience thing is gonna like happen at the end of the year.
Okay,
like, that's the plan. Like, they only need to buy Comcast own like 1/3 of it, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
So they just need to buy them out, but Comcast hasn't been making content for Hulu in a long time anyway.
Right. You know, that's where the 7,000 jobs went to, right? Like, they wanted to make a purchase, so we just trimmed 7,000 jobs to pay for it, you know, or maybe like 3 Igers.
3 Igers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that, I mean, because when we get down to our like Disney Plus right now, I'm gonna probably unsubscribe from it right now. Like, I don't want it right now. I don't care until Star Wars comes back. And but for us and the people in this general conversation, or like our Star Wars friends or whatever, I don't think Star Wars or Marvel has like really anything to worry about on the front of any doom and gloom that goes on. I think that's what's floating the whole thing. It's the other stuff that isn't actually bringing them anything in, and it's being viewed by the average consumer that's not one of us as almost like an archival service where you can go and you could access the Little Mermaid if you feel like watching it, but when they just don't subscribe to it. And that's kind of, they could change how they do things and, you know, make some original content that's compelling at the level of the golden age of television, but instead they go and get Tom Hanks to play fucking Geppetto or something. So you know,
the
here we
fact
are.
That you said that and it's true. It's crazy.
Yeah, it sounds like a joke, but it's where they're at.
Like,
you know,
like when I said when you and I say, hey, Urkel's going to be in Star Wars. Everyone thought it was a joke, but
yeah, like it makes sense.
Jason.
Disney Plus is good for Marvel and Star Wars, but other than that, not as much good content as Netflix or really HBO or anything like that. So as a competitive service, no, maybe, I mean, on one hand, when you get down to the, like, you know, content for children, maybe they're unparalleled, but
you know, annoying Disney Plus is for me, dude. Even when I want to see something archival, I go, I want to watch the Brave Little Toaster, which is the prototype Toy Story because John Lasseter sold it. Like, it really is. Brave Little Toaster is the original Toy Story. They don't have it. They have the sequels. Brave Little Toaster goes to Mars. Brave Little Toaster forms a union and gets fired from Disney. You know, but it doesn't have the Brave Little Toaster. I had to go and get a fan fucking copy of it. You know, like, it's just ridiculous. Right. Like, it's just shit like that.
Well, like what Robert is mentioning right here. Robert says Hulu, no ads, Disney Plus, and ESPN for $19.99 is a pretty solid deal for what I get out of it. Just wanted to use one app for all of it. And like, what's funny about it is because of how afraid they are of offending those weirdos, they are keeping them separate. I have a theory that they keep them separate because it's harder to unsubscribe from 3, and maybe they could keep some of your money.
When but they are saying that, like, 2 of those things are going into one app. They're calling it a one app experience, like Hulu and Disney.
And where I'm going with this is, like, with ESPN, is look at how much money they spend to randomly advertise Star Wars to some jocks during a sports game, during sports ball. And it's like, if it was all together, then you might have, you know, the guy who only watches basketball going, oh, wow, the Mandalorian guy looks neat. I'll check that out, and stuff like that. Like, I think that they're actually hurting themselves by not having that range of content.
Every Family Guy should be on this right now. All Family Guy. You want to fucking watch Family Guy? Turn that shit on. Watch 800 fucking seasons of it. Like, they bought all this shit, man. They don't got it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's all this and more than that, like, I have the Hulu Disney Plus ESPN package because I watch the UFC prelims more than the actual UFCs. Like, I love the prelims. Like, I'm like, that's where you see the best matches are in the prelims. Fuck the main events, dude.
Right.
But and with Hulu, Only Murders in the Building keeps me on that one, and they've had some exclusive anime like releases like Trigun and shit like that. So I'm like, all right, fine. For that, fine. But my wife watches the shit out of fucking HBO, man. She leaves Game of Thrones on. She'll leave Fresh Prince of Bel-Air on. She'll leave, like, the Harry Potter fucking shit before all this turf crap went down, you know? Like, would be left on a loop. So it's like, there's all this longer form content that Disney spent billions of fucking dollars on. That this whole time I'm like, just put it all in one fucking thing. Like, this is not dumb. But Rob, I don't want to hear what Disney is and isn't. Like, you don't build a streaming service if that's the fucking like.
Well, in 2023, Disney is Marvel and Star Wars. It's what Disney is now, and they remake some of their old cartoons in live action. Like, that's what Disney is. So people have to talk about what it is, or you're talking about what it was, not what it is. And Dave, by the way, Dave messages me last night. I got it late, so sorry I couldn't respond, Dave. But he's all, found out Urkel is going to be on Skeleton Crew last night. Who knew NHL was a great source for Star Wars news? It broke a long time ago. We covered. We were like, this story is so nuts. It's probably true. Like, that's where we were at with it. But
he's in July last year.
Yeah,
he's in the thumbnail from last summer.
Yeah. So this is from Bestman Bulletin today. Star Wars Skeleton Crew to release in November or December 2023. And you could support Bestman on Coffee and give him a little tip. You can just give him the tip if you want. Whatever.
I can't handle the whole thing.
We've known since I know what you can handle. We've known since last year that the upcoming Star Wars live action series Skeleton Crew was aiming to release sometime in 2023, but we've not had any official word as to when or even a targeted release window. Back in March, I was the first to share that the series was looking to release much later in the year. From what I had heard, that's what I heard too. Sorry, I'm just co-opting your stuff. And said to the expect the series around November or December. Well, it now appears as if the information I heard was correct, as a previously unannounced cast member of the series has revealed that November or December is in fact the targeted release window for the series. Famed actor, legend, TGIF all-star, Jaleel White, who's probably best known for playing Steve Urkel on Family Matters, as well as the creator or spokesman for Purple Urkel, if you like to smoke weed, confirmed his involvement with the upcoming Star Wars series when making an appearance at the Oilers and Golden Knights NHL game last night. White was previously reported to be appearing in a Star Wars project. How do you say that? Dumois?
Yeah.
The outlet was also first revealed that Jude Law, Fantastic Beast, The Secrets of Dumbledore, hence had signed on for Star Wars series Skeleton Crew. White didn't share a ton regarding his character, but did confirm that he plays a pirate in the series and spent 2 hours in makeup every day for the role, which I exclusively reported there would be pirates in the show. Previously, I exclusively reported that pirates featured in The Mandalorian Season 3 would play a role in Skeleton Crew. That pirate turned out to be Vane, who was present in Skeleton Crew trailer that debuted exclusively at Star Wars Celebration last month. Vane is accompanied by many pirates in the trailer, so I wonder if we've already seen White's character. He says, "Did I do that?" He has to. However, the most interesting tidbit from Jaleel White was the actor confirming that the Disney Plus series was set to release in either November or December of this year. It's likely that the series hasn't been given a hard date at this point, which is normal and nothing to be concerned about. Readers may recall Rosario Dawson, the lead actress in Ahsoka, claiming the series was aiming to release in the fall of this year back in February. And you mean Ahsoka was aiming to release in the fall, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But the series was confirmed for an unspecified August release alongside the drop of the series teaser trailer Loki. Loki actor Owen Wilson also revealed that the second season of Loki, another Disney Plus series, was set to release in late August or early September back in March. And from what I've heard recently, it's slightly later than that. You can read White's full quote below. And so he says, "I'm actually going to be in a new series on Disney Plus starring Jude Law called Skeleton Crew. It's coming out in November, December, and it's part of the Star Wars universe. That's a big change for me, man. I had to do 2 hours of makeup every day, and I get to play a pirate," says Jaleel White. As mentioned earlier in the article, Lucasfilm did premiere the trailer for Skeleton Crew at Star Wars Celebration, but as of the time of writing, they've yet to release the trailer to the public. However, you can read a description of what was shown below. And then this is where Bespin does not believe in paragraphs anymore. So let's do it. The trailer begins with groups of school kids in class being taught by a droid. We see the character. Are they learning critical race theory? Can you confirm that or no?
I can't confirm what
it's critical droid theory.
Critical droid theory. We see the character played by Ravi Cabot Conyers. Come on, man, just be Ravi Conyers, bro. Just be one guy. Just be Ravi Conyers. Seemingly bored with life, looking lovingly in his classroom and seeking
longingly.
Adventure. Longingly. I said lovingly. He's like, I love adventure. Love it. Longingly in his class and seeking adventure. As the trailer progresses, we hear voiceovers from the various kids discussing going on an adventure, and we see shorts of them taking a speeder bike through a forest. An Ortolan child, that's a Max Rebo for the rest of us, played by Robert Timothy Smith. Come on, man, just be Robert Smith from the fucking Cure, bro. You have a cool ass name, dude.
No, Jason, get it right. It's Robert Tiffany Amber Thiessen Smith.
Oh shit. Oh yeah, she doesn't have to change anything though, because she's the best. Opening up a garage door at dusk, along with quick glimpses of the characters, played by Ryan Kira. Come on! Do you have to give your middle name? Just be Ryan Armstrong, a good old American name.
You know, Jason, and they wonder why there aren't any movie stars anymore.
And here we go. The fucking real star of the show, Kriana Cratter. Just normal ass name. Just fucking.
All I gotta say is no one forgets Lizzo. You know,
right.
like simple.
Yeah, Prince, Madonna,
right?
Fucking John Joseph Jingleheimer Smith. Nobody knows who that guy even is. Anyways, the latter Kriana Crater, the best actor on the show, in my opinion, based off of her name now. The latter of which is sporting a visor for some kind. They take their speeder bikes, and I'm guessing she's like Data because she has the visor, so she does like the tech stuff. She's probably like tech in Bad Batch or something.
No, she's like Cyclops from X-Men, man.
Okay. Shoots lasers out of that shit.
Yeah.
She goes, Kriana, Crater, and then like it shoots the lasers out. The next morning, the father of at least one of the children, played by Tund. Man, these names are really getting me today. Is that Tunda?
I think it's Tundi.
Tundi. I like Tundi. That's actually a good name. Tundi. You know? Whoa, Tundi.
Remember when Key and Peele, Jason, did the NFL roster lineups and everyone was saying their names and they just got crazier and crazier?
yeah. It reminded me of that sketch in Living Color where when the newscasters say somebody's line, they say it with the ethnic accent of its origin. And like they eventually start speaking like they're like leprechauns and shit. Anyways, they realize that the children have gone missing, and we see the group of children discover a ship and take it off world. The Lucasfilm logo appears, and we hear the children call out for their father. The trailer intercuts with shots. Oh yeah, and so we are of the assumption right now, Bespin, that these children are likely living in the same place, like with the same parents. Do we think? Because we only see one set like maybe they're orphans.
Yeah, we only see one set of parents, and like to be fair, none of the kids look like those two parents. Like one is a Max Rebo child for a start.
Yeah.
So and the father goes into like different rooms and he says different kids' names, I believe, and obviously none of them are there. So we assume that maybe it's like they're orphans. Maybe he adopted them.
Yeah, or maybe they're orphans of the of the battle for Endor or whatever. Like that post Return of the Jedi time when all their parents got killed.
Jason, they love to say Annie in Star Wars, so this will be like Annie.
Oh, okay, orphan Annies. They're a bunch of orphan Anakins. Orphan Anakins, the Disney Plus series. The trailer intercuts with shots of the parents trying to find their children in various ways, and then the only thing that we could add to that, I guess, is that this is just being really hardcore on the Amblin line, which it's probably not, but in the Amblin films, those kids in ET, you never see the rest of their parents. Like the rest of their parents, of those other kids on the bikes, their parents just didn't care about them at all. They were just like, yeah, go ride your bike. I'll see you Tuesday. So anyways, and same thing with Goonies. You only see the one set of parents until the very end. Anyways, as Carrie Condon's character stresses that something is very wrong. We see glimpses of the kids flying in their commandeered spaceship through the galaxy and the group running through a market of some kind. We see shots of the pirate Vane picking up a blaster at a bar and entering a ship, perhaps the ones the kids are on with other pirates. We get a hologram of Carrie Condon's character asking the kids to return home as they watch on. You're like, we ain't going home like that. As the trailer races towards its end, we see the pirates opening fire. The children playing with a friendly droid, a skeleton on a ship, along with worried shots of the children's parents. The final shots of the trailer shows the kids seemingly in a jail cell of some kind, where they meet Jude Law, donned in Jedi robes, who uses the Force to lift a key and unlock them from their cell. The Skeleton Crew title card appears and is quickly followed by flashes of Jude Law piloting the children's ship, X-wings, pirates firing blasters on a ship, and Jude Law new clothes, including a deep V-neck blue t-shirt and leather jacket. He's like, sorry, kids, I'm going to get laid tonight. I'll see you later. I got things to do. Bye. I'm Jude Law. As he walks away from the children's ship. Skeleton Crew was created by John Watts and Christopher Ford and was inspired by the 80s Amblin movies such as The Goonies, stars Jude Law and a bunch of people with 3 names. And then you could follow Bespin and give to his coffee page and all that jazz right here. So Yeah. Well, what do you think? What do you got to say, Rob? What do you got to say, Bespin? I know you guys
He's
were
gonna
listening to me read.
be an alien, right?
And well, you know what I was wondering. I doubt it's going to go this way, but like, I started wondering, like, what if Jude Law's not really a Jedi? What if he's a shyster, like what's his name in Kenobi?
I think he probably does have the Force. I just don't think he's like a Jedi. You know?
Yeah, you think maybe he's just more of I have the Force and I'm a shyster. He has to be like a shyster, right, kind of guy, right?
Well, yeah, he's like in the Empire like magazine thing. He said that he's a big fan of Han Solo, and he sort of wanted that to be like the character to be sort of inspired by that as well.
Yeah.
So I think that element will be there. So I don't think he's just a straight up Jedi trying to like just do good for good's sake. I just think he's probably just looking after himself, and like by the end of the series, he'll probably become a good guy.
Yeah.
So.
He does something for his own selfish reasons, and then by the end of it, he's like, I can't. He gets Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
Yeah.
I'd rather he get Chevy chased.
We like no, you don't want him to. You want him to Chevy chase those kids?
I mean, well, yeah, I do, but I really mean just where they don't redeem him at the end. He's just still he's a Chevy chase.
Yeah. I just hope we have that moment in the series that's like, when like Chunk is looking at Sloth and he's like, you're going to live with me now. I hope we get that moment. That's a good
the Max Rebo kid was like, you're going to live with me now.
You think,
I don't have parents. It's fucking pandemonium at my house.
You think Jude Law talks like Sloth?
Yeah.
I'm not going to do the voice because that's how you get canceled.
Right.
But,
yeah.
Like
he
the
rip off
his
shirt
thing,
and does a Superman.
The release date thing, like I've been talking to you about it for like a long time, right? Like,
oh yeah,
from where I've heard, like that's not just for this show, but like a bunch of shows.
Right.
Like the Loki was supposed to be August, was supposed to be June, then it was August, and now like I'm sure it's more like October. They still want to try and get Echo out for some reason. Like if they are spacing them out, then we go from Secret Invasion at the end of June straight to Ahsoka in August, Ahsoka to Loki, and then Loki to Skeleton Crew. Like it's perfectly like planned out at the moment.
Right.
So if they shove Echo in there, it's going to overlap with one of these shows. You'd imagine they rather it overlap with Skeleton Crew than Loki.
Ain't no Echo coming out, bro.
No, I don't.
You don't think so?
I don't think it will either.
No.
But like that's apparently they're still trying to figure it out, which I think is stupid. Just leave it. Let it be next year.
Yeah.
There's not like a massive demand for it at the moment, is it? Like,
I mean, well, what would the and the Echo series ties into the Daredevil content, correct?
Yeah.
So maybe that's the reason that they want to get it out for you know what I mean. Maybe that's like why it might be pressing to have that happen soon, but I don't know.
But again, what's the rush to get the Daredevil series out? Like they currently have like 4 shows in the can, like just ready to go. So a Daredevil just paused filming because of the writer's strike. So likely Daredevil is going to have to suffer a delay anyway.
Yeah.
Go Teamsters.
Go Teamsters.
They shut that down.
Bespin, Santa was asking, wait, the kids are playing with a skeleton on a ship?
No, it's just there's a skeleton that's just on the ship. Like it's just
like a dead body on the ship?
Yeah.
So do you think the ship that they take, maybe the person is deceased and that's the ship that they take? Yeah.
It's just a copper pot.
No, I'm wondering if it's their own version of want to see a dead body kind of thing. But like I know a ship. There's a guy who died. You know what I mean? The ship's just out there, and we could take it. So maybe that guy's. Maybe that's why they call them. Maybe that's how they get their gang name, so to speak. That's the Skeleton Crew because they got that ship with that had a dead body on it because they just like found it or something. Because because if they. I mean, like the ship itself. If this is going to be a multiple season show, you wouldn't think they were just stealing their parents' car. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. And so, I'm wondering if they know of a ship out in that forest, and like that's where they get the speeder bikes and go out there to like look at it, and then one of the kids is like wants to really go out and go someplace, and obviously the Max Rebo kid would, if he's Chunk, would be like, oh, we shouldn't be doing this, Mikey, and then they'll fly away, and then
he seems to be the one that has like the smallest role, like out of the kids, like even in that picture that you're looking at right there, he's not there,
right?
Like, and throughout the trailer, I think he's in like 3 shots where you do see the other kids like way more.
So you're suggesting that he is murdered brutally?
Oh yeah. I think Jude Law like cooks him and eats him.
Yeah, Jude Law. Jude Law's really like this is actually a serial killing, the first Star Wars serial killer that we've ever seen on screen, and it's a big switcheroo.
It's really ironic because his name is Max Ramen in the show, and then they turn him into ramen.
I hope he turns around, looks at those kids, and goes, "My name is Jude Law." Fucking, it's memorable. Try it.
Dude Law.
Dude Law. Yeah. Dude Law. But yeah, I watched that trailer a few times. I never noticed the skeleton on it. I didn't catch that. So good.
Yeah, catch. It's just on the ground. Yeah. But again, like I remember like from seeing it in the room, you know, like, and wherever. Like there's also like a tiny droid that's on the ship, like, or at least a ship with the kids. And I can't remember it very well from leaked trailers. You can't really see him. Right. I didn't bother writing about him. But they do seem to have a droid at some point. They are friendly with the droid in the trailer, like a bigger one.
Right.
But yeah.
I wonder if that came with the ship, if it came with the kids. Probably not with the kids, since we saw them on the speeder bikes, probably. So that would probably leave either Jude Law's droid or came with the ship.
I can confirm. The skeleton it's Kitster.
Oh no!
It was one of the ideas I had. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Good work, George. Never forgetting a character.
Also, not for nothing, but Jude over there has the same look I had on my face when I had to play Gyromite with Jet.
Gyromite with Jet. Jet was a long time after that game, dude. I think you're slipping, bud.
No. We just never opened it.
Oh, you wanted Jet to know what it was like to grow up poor, so you made him play Gyromite in 1999? Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Gives him character.
Yeah. Well, he's thinking it for me now, He's a big really play that Gyromite.
He's working on Mando, so I think he's sort of, in a weird way, kind of indentured to you, it sounds like. You're just making him.
Yeah. McDonald's has learned a few things from my labor practices.
Yeah. Lucas's.
All right. I gotta get back to it. Gotta go play Wrecking Crew. Bye.
All right.
You can see the visor in that image on the girl.
Yeah.
Cyclops.
Yeah. Or she's watching TV.
Well, that's the Max Rebo kid right there on the next to the girl, but he's not in no on the right.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, but he's not obviously in his Max Rebo getup.
Right. So then that would say that the Max Rebo kid is going to be CGI most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he looks CGI in the trailer as well.
Okay. Yeah, when I'm watching the cam of the trailer, I can't tell. It's not abundantly clear, but you saw it. That was why you went, so that way you could bring back that knowledge.
That's literally the reason I went, because we got into Lucasfilm Showcase. If I didn't get to that, I wouldn't have gone.
Yeah,
I'd have been like, fuck seeing my friends. I'll just go and see Fast 10 with Pevy in cinemas. That's how I meet them for the first time.
Right, right. Frog Eater gave a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Frog Eater. Says if Ahsoka's 8 episodes will be done before the 6:30 deadline for the DGA, how does the DGA strike work? Are directors unable to do post-production and filming? So we could look at the Writers Guild rules for what it will likely look at, but I don't think they've published what those rules would be yet. But yeah, Dave, with the Writers Guild strike being on and the Directors Guild being on strike, I think Dave is literally off the project at that point.
Except the last time the Directors Guild striked.
Yeah, I saw. I saw that. I saw that.
5 fucking minutes. I went and read up on that.
It's not. I don't think it's relevant whatsoever.
You don't think so?
I don't. Personally, I don't. I hope I'm wrong. But what that's going to mean is that the directors go on strike for 5 minutes. Then the studios throw up their hands and go, let's give the writers everything they want and the directors everything, or some version of let's give them what they want. And I don't know. I don't see that happening on this one. I think there's like too much money on the line for them, even though really it's not a big deal. It wouldn't really hurt them that much. And in fact, it would probably actually help them in the end. They would get better content and would be more profitable because their content would be better. But I don't know. I bet you it's at least the summer, but I hope I'm wrong. It'd be great if because the whole thing we were talking about the other day is the studios already know what they will truly do. And the demands are already set, and there's like a line there. There's some of the stuff that is non-negotiable that must be fixed. And at this point right now, they're not even like countering with, okay, we will meet the baseline of some of the stuff. They haven't even done that yet. So I don't know. Do you think when the directors strike, that's when they go, okay, here's a realistic counter to both of them?
I do.
That's why I'm like, I don't know.
I do.
I do.
Because look, people don't look. I'm gonna just be honest with you, right?
Yeah.
The average public is stupid, right? Let's just be honest. And
no, you sound crazy right now.
And when you say writers are striking, they go, you don't need writers. Writers, who cares? They just got a stupid job anyway. Go get a real job. But when you say directors are fucking striking, they're like
strong, authoritarian. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. They make the whole thing.
That sounds like dictators. I like dictators.
Yeah.
And potatoes. And potatoes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Dictators and potatoes. So, yeah, I do. Plus, at the end of the day, man, like, AI can't go on to set and like wrangle everyone into fucking performances. You know what I mean? Like, it's
right
here. Like, they're delusional in thinking that AI can fucking like write scripts. I don't give a fuck what they think. Like, it can produce something, and I guarantee you, it's going to produce the exact same script for that studio and the exact same script for the next studio, and everyone's going to have the same fucking script. Like, like if that worked, how many hundreds or thousands of scripts are they sitting on right now that every studio's bought over the last 50 fucking years that are all identical and dog shit, right? Like they buy thousands of fucking scripts they never produce because at the end of the day, oh, I've seen that before. Oh, no, blah 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 blah, and this shit it predictably recreates the same thing over and over again, and I don't care how good it can mask it. It just can't. People see through that shit fast. So
yeah,
but you cannot on set. We got to make our days. You know what I mean? Lighting's not moving their ass fast enough. Fucking the actors not getting out the fucking their car or their trailer. Craft services laced their entire soup with LSD and we're all fucking tripping. Like that's different. It's different.
Yeah, I would say most likely by that point, by like the 6:30 like deadline, most likely Ahsoka will be completely finished. Most likely. And it probably won't really have any bearing on it. And the fact that they know this is happening, like Filoni could easily have already left his will, if you want to put it that way, about what's supposed to happen with the rest of the production, like all of the changes that need to be made and the polish and stuff. And so it might just be at this point executing that. And there's even a chance the Ahsoka is actually already finished anyways.
No, Jason, we don't make changes. Changes?
No.
What are you talking about? No, we just write it, get done, shoot it. We all play guitar on set. We go make tacos afterwards. We go Fuddruckers. We go Dave and Buster's, Jason. Know what I'm saying? We don't. It's no big deal. We had that done months ago.
Right.
We just hadn't told old Bobby Iger. You know what I'm saying? Because he thinks I think we're busy.
You know what's funny, Filoni, is we were talking about like behind the scenes stuff and like why they don't do anything and why it's like a problem to do anything. And it's funny because that guitar moment was really good PR stuff when Robert Rodriguez was playing guitar with Grogu. Oh, great PR at the moment. But when you look at it now, like it is like a fucking pinata to beat the shit out of that because it underperformed in terms of quality.
Oh, we actually had a pinata on set too, Jason. We had a little E.T. Well, it was little E.T., little Michael Jackson, and a Ronnie Reagan. It was just like my old quinceañera when I was a kid.
What? You had a quinceañera?
Huh? Anyone can have one, Jason.
Oh, okay.
Every day is 16 and magical. Know what I'm saying? All right, I gotta go. Bye.
But so Frog Eater says, I hope you're right. Ahsoka will most likely be done by 6:30, deadline for the DGA. Yeah. I would, I mean, at the same time too, like I don't know how Filoni is able, like for instance, Gilroy had to leave the production entirely of Andor, but that one's still filming. And I think that maybe is what leaves room for like some, maybe you are writing, that's to like be looked at sideways.
Filming and editing, because remember they count editing decisions as writing,
right?
In their demands, not demands, in list of what counts as writing. Editing was in that.
So if you look at it in that terms through the editing lens, if Filoni's already written Ahsoka, Filoni has already directed Ahsoka, and he can't edit it, considering probably just out of his hands now. More than likely he's had to just let it go. But we don't, like I said, it may have already have been done before any of this happened. We don't really know exactly like how to the line like the production is, and a lot of times like on the Star Wars shows like Mando, they finished Mando like a long time ago. But then I thought like Mando was just completely done, big changes would start happening with visual effects, for instance. And so visual effects stuff was being added into Mando 3 rather late, like some of the stuff I've talked about with like changing like that creature and that they can do it that witch into a creature and stuff. Like that stuff was done late. So with Ahsoka, it just means either that wouldn't happen or they would just be waiting on the visual effects to replace the temp shot or whatever, the on rendered shot in the edit. So I would imagine I would think it was fine. But I also thought Andor was probably going to be fine because he had already written that Gilroy had already written what he had done, and that's not the case. So
Abdullah wasn't fucking playing, he told him out. He made sure he walked away.
Yeah, he was like, you get the fuck out of there, and he did. I mean, to his credit, he did, and someone was I think it was Santa. I was out with the kids yesterday and stuff, so I was like bad about the internet. But I think like Santa was it Santa or Baymax? They were like saying something to me or in a conversation I was in, and they were like, "Oh, didn't wasn't there a problem with Gilroy like having to not be there like at first or something on season 1?" And on season 1 of Andor, he was gonna like direct and be the showrunner who was like there. He was going to direct some. And then with COVID and all of that stuff and leaving, I think he was New York at the time where he was living, I think.
Yeah.
He was like, oh yeah, I can't do it. So what he probably did was he basically was the showrunner from afar, was the showrunner over Zoom is what it sounds like. So
yeah, he wasn't, but like he did come here after like it calmed down a bit in the UK. Like,
we have the pictures of him with casting with the poncho when they're filming.
That's in Scotland.
Hold on.
Yeah, like I know he was here like during the Essex filming, like in wherever as well. Like he was here for quite a lot of it. I just think he missed the first chunk. Like I assume he came in after January, like when we had like another big peak in the UK of like cases. He probably came when that like went back down.
Right. So yeah. So anyways, so it's not exactly the same thing, but and when Rick Jones calls him a Zoom runner, and but he can't do anything. That's like the difference is he almost just has to like throw his hands up and walk away at this point. If Disney Lucasfilm continues production, then it just will be what it is, and hopefully like they just know what to do, or like what Tony would say, or what they would what I mean, like what the agenda was, and they're able to like move on. The fact is, I liked we were talking the other day, like I think it was Bespin who reminded me, the director of the first three is the director of the last three.
Yeah, he is.
On that,
Ariel
so
Kleiman.
Yeah, yeah. So like that's a good sign, because if he's doing that much, they are clearly like really talking, like in a weird way. That person is almost like a co-showrunner, probably not with the authority, but they would have that knowledge. So they might not be completely like in the dark. It might not be like when you hear about like Lord of the Rings, and like that's just doesn't even have a showrunner and they're making it right now, or whatever it's called, Rings of Power or whatever. So Frog Eater says, last question, how complete might Bad Batch season 3 be? And like on Bad Batch season 3, like on that one right now, I am totally guessing, but most likely the voice acting is already done. Most likely it's like temp stuff being sent over to CG or whoever handles it now, and that they would be doing like the final, like when I say final, I mean like actually doing it, actually like animating it. And so I'm not sure how much polish would go in after that, but I would imagine it's quite a bit. And so with the writing on that one right there, like I said, because the voice actors have to go first in animation, the writing is probably like mostly plotted out, and they know they're doing lines and stuff. So, but animation is weird, and I don't know how that's going to shake out. Rob, you have any guess about that one? Like
no freaking clue.
Yeah,
because the production is it's weird. It was it Taiwan, right? It's a Taiwan studio, so it's a studio.
I think CG is it Vietnamese?
Vietnamese, yeah. So
yeah.
But it's overseas.
Yeah.
It's developed here. I know it is. Like storyboard works and shit is
right. Voice acting
and the storyboards are pretty much the script. By the way, like it's not like maybe they write like a script, but I imagine if it's more boarded, with like dialogue, tracks kind of like written down with limited script details, but it's mostly like storyboards, to which that builds your animatic or your temp track, and then they voice to that. So they have working versions of each episode before it goes off to animation,
Right.
So
and Star Wars fans of like seeing some of those with like the Clone Wars, like when the Clone Wars was canceled and they released like the final act where it's just like really rigid models, but the voice acting is all there, and you kind of got what the story was going to be. Like that's what he's talking about.
Right, and that's also so that you can get your timing down and properly budget. You don't want to be caught in that situation like in the episode 1 beginnings when Lucas is he's got a bunch of storyboards and he's highlighting everything in marker, and John Knowles just then realizing how much work is in front of him. Like, I mean, sort of that's where you would find out, but really though, but boards are the most important thing. So yeah, I imagine. And also, not for nothing, man, like, it's also, like, a little shady because, like, that's how you kind of keep creative royalties under control. You say, we developed it here, so overseas they're not cutting people. It's more of a work-for-hire situation, right? It's it's exactly what writers don't want to have happen with ChatGPT, where Lucasfilm goes and says, hey, we use ChatGPT to write 26 episodes of The Bad Batch. Now you go rewrite them. And so even though they completely rewrite them, since technically the initial inception was some bullshit AI generated thing, they don't have to pay them royalties for those episodes anymore, kind of deal.
Okay. So, yeah. But so with Bad Batch, if that's where I think that's probably where it would be at right now. but they would still have to come back and put it together and then do story edits and stuff like that. So, but you know, yeah, who knows like how long they sit on Bad Batch before they like put it out and stuff like that. I have no idea. I wouldn't imagine that with Bad Batch, knowing that there was going to be 3 seasons like a long time ago, that they probably just kind of kept going with production on it. But I don't know. I don't know what to expect from that stuff in the end. You know, Tyrant says, pretty sure Lucasfilm Animation is in Singapore. I think you're right. Remember there was that like weird sandcrawler building that like was pretty cool.
Yeah, they built a whole facility.
Yeah, I think that's where it was. I think it was in Singapore. So, all right. Well, all right. What else we got here? Oh yeah, this is we kind of alluded to this in the other article, but here it is. Anyways, let me close that other tab. Kerry Condon and Tundi Adabimpe. Am I even close?
I think so. It's a good attempt.
Adabimpe, cast in Star Wars Skeleton Crew. So, and then look, there's Jude Law. Oh, I'm sneak. Come on, guys. You guys got to give us some more Jude Law shots. Lucasfilm, this is some bullshit. Like, the show's not even out. It's far away, and I'm fucking tired of looking at his stupid face. But what choice do we have?
Yeah, we've had that image for 5 months. That's all we can use.
It's fucking too much. Need more. Last month during the Lucasfilm Studio Showcase, the studio unveiled various trailers exclusively for those in the room, and one of those that was shown was Skeleton Crew. Skeleton Crew, for those who don't know, is a series created by John Watts, which follows a group of kids who get lost in the Star Wars galaxy. The series itself is heavily inspired by 80s Amblin movies such as Goonies, and Lucasfilm. President Kathleen Kennedy played a large role in shaping that series due to her years of experience working alongside Steven Spielberg and Amblin Entertainment after being approached by the series co-creator John Watts. We've known for some time that the series is set to be led by Jude Law, and during Celebration, Law, alongside series executive producers Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, introduced the child actors starring in the series, which includes a bunch of fucking brats with 3 names. The cast and executive producers gave those in the room the first look at the upcoming trailer for the new series, in which we saw introduced to some new faces who were not officially announced, alongside a familiar one in the Mandalorian pirate vein, played by Marty Matulas. The 2 characters who featured prominently throughout the trailer to be the parents of the children leading the series, with both parents actively seeking help and searching for their missing children who decided to embark on an adventure without informing their parents. Currently, we don't know the names of the characters. We don't even know the names of the leading characters either. But we did get an ID on who are playing the parents. The father of the Skeleton Crew children is played by Tundi Adabempe, who is probably best known for starring projects such as Marriage Story, Perry Mason, and Spider-Man Homecoming, which is directed by Skeleton Crew co-creator John Watts. The mother is played by Kerry Condon, who recently received an Academy Award nomination for her role in The Banshees. I'm just going to call it Banshees because I can never say that name either. I'm sorry. It's a made-up place, so I'm not even going to kill myself over that. She's also starred in projects such as Better Call Saul, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Ray Donovan, and she was also the voice of Friday in various Marvel Studios films, including Spider-Man Homecoming. As mentioned,
all John Watts connections.
Yeah, those are all John Watts people. As mentioned, Lucasfilm did premiere the trailer for Skeleton Crew at Star Wars Celebration. At the time of this writing, they've yet to release the trailer because they're assholes. The trailer, and then this is the same thing. We did earlier. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So yeah. She was the sisters in Banshees. You know, the one that that guy who plays Joker from Green Knight tries to like put the moves on unsuccessfully, but I respect him. Respect his attempts. And then this guy.
I don't respect his Joker.
No, I know you don't. I know you don't. You don't.
Worst Joker of all time.
I don't know if I go of all time.
Sorry. In all films? Time? Yes, in films.
You think he's worse than Leto?
Yes.
I don't know,
yeah,
man.
Because there was moments when Leto was like when he was on the helicopter in Suicide Squad with the Tommy gun. That was actually pretty cool. Like,
oh yeah, but he got to be in like a whole. like a whole movie where he got to like do stuff. This other guy just got to go, I'm crazy. But I think if the other guy got the whole movie,
and he
I
didn't
think
have fucking mange. I'm sorry,
I think he would
Joker mange. I can't deal with Joker mange.
I can't deal with that GTA knockoff looking Joker. You know what I mean? Like one of those GTA knockoff games. Like that's what that Joker reminds me of.
Yeah, but Joker wore a nice outfit in Dark Knight Returns. You take the fucking stupid tattoos off his fucking face, get him to act a little less like Macaulay Culkin, and then you're fine. But I can't fundamentally deal with the Joker that has fucking mange all over the fucking place.
I've said that about potential dates before. But you know what? They got a tattoo on their face.
Yeah, well, sucks to be a divorced dad on Tinder, right? Like,
no, it's actually a pretty good time. I'm having a great time, actually, Rob. It's
by the way, like at least when Leto was doing that fucking Joker, it was consistent for the tone of that entire film. The whole film felt like he didn't feel like he was out of place. It felt like, yeah, this movie's about fucking dumb as it is. The Batman was great until that motherfucker shows up and starts quoting lines from Batman 69. Like, I'm like, I can't deal with this. This is not the same fucking movie. Sorry.
So what you're saying is that you like Leto because he sent used condoms to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Honestly, man, I wanted to choke the motherfucker out when I heard he did that shit. It's like, you sent me some fucking used condoms to show on set? Bro, I will fucking end you. Like,
Rob, don't open that package I sent you. I thought it was funny.
For this. When it comes to praying, I am built for this. I will fucking swat your ass. I will utilize my privilege and end your fucking nonsense, sick bastard.
I think we just got banned on Twitch for that. But anyways, Kathleen Kennedy.
That's a good thing, though, right? We don't want to be on there.
It doesn't matter. Nobody watches us there. Right. Kathleen Kennedy. This is from BatsmanBulletin.com. Kathleen Kennedy provides an update on Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie. Needs to write a third act. What? This guy? Oh, yeah, I need to write a third act. So, 3 years ago, in May of 2020, Lucasfilm officially announced that the director behind critical and commercial hits such as Ho-Ho Rabbit and Thor Ragnarok, I'm kidding, Taika Waititi was set to co-write and direct an untitled Star Wars movie. At the time, Waititi was penning the project with Krysty Wilson-Cairns, who also is best known for the work on 1917 and Last Night in Soho. I didn't like Last Night in Soho. I tried to like it. I just couldn't get into it. As months and years went by, we had various updates from Waititi, Wilson-Cairns, and Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy regarding the status of the film, which was typically that it's still being written. By the end of 2020, Lucasfilm had set 3 release dates for Star Wars movies, one in December 2023. I love that one. That one was great. I'm going to see it in a couple months for Rogue Squadron, and the other 2 in December 2025 and 2027, with the belief at the time being that Waititi's film was aiming for the 2025 release. In May of last year, once Rogue Squadron was delayed indefinitely, Kennedy claimed that the Taika Waititi film would release in late 2023. Come on, man. She smoked a few.
Maybe she was thinking about Jedi Survivor.
Maybe Urkel hooked her up with some purple Urkel, and she just messed up. Sometime
you can't tell the difference between video games and real life nowadays.
Oh shit! Oh no! Something. Okay, so she that basically Kennedy claimed that the Taika film would release in late 2023. Something that the writer-director would play down as he revealed a decision had not been made on a release until he turned in his script, which at the time he said he had not done. Since then, we had a very minor updates on the Waititi project, but Lucasfilm have stated each time when asked that the project is very much still being developed. In early April, it was reported that Waititi was still working on his mysterious Star Wars movie and that he planned to have a role in it. Many expected Waititi's movie to be part of the slate of films that Lucasfilm announced at Star Wars Celebration last month, but it was not the case. However, during an interview with IGN, Kathleen Kennedy revealed that Taika was still working on the movie, but revealed that he is now writing it alone. In a recent report last week from Deadline, they claimed that Thor: Love and Thunder director was still excited about the Star Wars project and was hoping to start shooting it sometime next year. At the time, of the deadline claim, many fans were baffled by the news, given all the signs point to the next Star Wars film being released is the Daisy Ridley-led new Jedi Order movie, directed by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, which plans to begin filming in February of 2024. The Deadline article mentioned that the next film Taika Waititi would direct is a film titled Clara and the Sun, which would likely take place later this year, giving the director a short turnaround if he wants to begin shooting a Star Wars project next year, especially when he's now in the process of writing the project alone. However, a new update from Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy may have provided a positive update on the project. When speaking with Empire, Kennedy was asked about the untitled Taika Waititi Star Wars movie, which she was happy to talk about. The outlet and Kennedy acknowledged that the project was announced 3 years ago, and there's been no significant update since, with Kennedy providing an update and telling the outlet, Taika is working...
Right. Jason, could you
Mm-hmm.
imagine if she was trying to deny it was that info was released 3 years ago? Like,
that was like Kevin Feige's thing. You guys just made that shit up. You guys are crazy.
I've never met this woman. Right? Like, yeah. I've never met Taika. I've never heard of him.
She gaslights the shit out of Hollywood. All right. Anyways, here's the important part. Taika is working away. He won't get mad at me for saying this. Slow. She's saying he's fucking stupid. We've got a couple of acts written, and we need a third. So basically, she's just saying that he's a slow writer, and yeah. So
maybe she meant she needs a turd. And we just transcribed it wrong.
Oh, she couldn't have said turd.
Accents can be weird. She has an accent.
But basically saying that Taika's a slow writer and they need they need a third act. So
Chat GPT it. Right?
From Kennedy's comments, it appears as that Waititi is pretty far along in the writing process for his Star Wars flick, even with the departure of Wilson Cairns. Currently, the Writers Guild of America is on strike, which Waititi is a part of. So the writer-director is not allowed to continue writing on the project until the strike is over and a new deal with the film and television studios is made, which could take weeks or months. The situation, mixed with Waititi planning to shoot a movie later this year and promote his next directorial effort, Next Goal Wins, which releases this fall, leads me to believe that it's unlikely Waititi will complete work on the Star Wars project by the end of the year, and that we're likely years away from seeing the movie on the big screen if it ever happens. So right here we got Bespin being a little Bespy downer, saying it's never going to happen. Taika Waititi's too slow.
I agree.
Well, what I would say, to be the other side of that paradigm, is that if he only has to write a third act, it might not be a lot of work. It might be the most work. Jason, it could be really bad. But he's slow. But I'm working on the model, and I think you agree with it, that he turned in the script in December and it was kicked back and said the third act doesn't work, redo it. Is that?
Well, I don't know if it's just like they said the third act doesn't work. They might have said that the script itself doesn't work. Like Wilson Khan left. She's gone. Yeah. And it took Taika like 2.5 years and her 2.5 years to like write a script, which we don't know if it got like rejected or not. But Taika was on about turning around last year, like
right.
You know, but it took him 2.5 years to get to that point, and now like she's saying he's slow. If he is doing like a full rewrite of it, like that's only 5 months. Like that's not slow, you know.
No,
like,
if he is, but if he's only writing rewriting the third act, that does put him in a place where if the writer's strike doesn't go on for a year, it's in the realm of possibility.
But we're also kind of considering that as this is the final draft. Like this is like the final draft he's going to hand in. Like if he hands this in, like, well, this needs to be changed. Like it could take him another year, like with revisions and and whatnot.
Hey Jason, remember when Fox executives wanted to cut the Death Star battle out of A New Hope because they wanted to save money, and they were like, hey, after they escape, they're done. They got the plans. They saved the princess. It's over. Like they were literally wanting to end it with that, and maybe they'll continue it in another movie.
Yeah.
So they had to build. Lucas and them had to build the entire Death Star shit first, like so that it would be well put together, and they couldn't axe it from the film because they had already spent all the money on it. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm of the opinion that we should, until we have anything to tell us otherwise, go with what Kennedy generally is saying, the spirit of it, right?
Just cut the third act.
Well, no, no, I'm not saying that. No, where I'm going with this is that she also at one point told us Taika's movie is like ready to fucking go. It's probably coming out like next year, and we're like, what the fuck are you talking about? What if Karen's isn't gone? What if she just fucking forgot? You know what I mean? I'm not saying we should work on that premise like as like our working model, but it's definitely like it kind of wouldn't surprise me if it turns out she's still fucking on it. She just fucking forgot that Taika was writing it with her or working with her or whatever. Like it's possible.
What if she shows up to Chinese Man's next week for the premiere and she's like, hey,
she's like in a gold dress. She's all, are we?
You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
you gotta take everything.
It's not Congress. You can't keep this job forever, all right? Like at some point,
like everything she says, you can't fully believe it. Like I said, like last year was like you try to give her the benefit of that for quite a long time until she started doing some of this stuff recently. Maybe she just had a brain fart last year, which she said.
Shit happens.
December 2023.
That's
true. And Taika was like, "Nah, that's not happening. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about." Like he was making it sound like he was greenlit.
But guys, what if it's a power play where like everyone in that room loved the third act but Kathy, right?
No,
it's like, you know what I mean? And so like she just puts that out there just to fuck with him, right?
Yeah. Well, I would take that actually to the other thing. He's being slow. She's like, yeah, his movie's coming out next year. Write the fucking movie, bitch. Like that might be what it was too.
I get fans. You gotta understand these people they play differently than we do. Like they do things in certain areas. That was the whole point. Like I was saying with Lucas, it's not like when they show that Death Star footage they developed, it wasn't just because this is the most technically difficult thing to do. It's never been done before. It was because he knew Fox was going to trim that fucking thing the second the second they could. So he tried to make it financially unfeasible for that to happen. Sometimes the opposite happens, where you want to fucking if this guy only responds to say media shit, right? So I'm gonna go out in the media and talk a little shit where only he would know what I'm talking about. Right, like how James Mangold kind of retweets a little shade sometimes, likes a little shade,
Yeah.
So there's other stuff happening that you have to think a little asymmetrically too,
Yeah. But by the way, like George Lucas, and Peter Jackson. Have you ever heard Lucas talk about Peter Jackson with like Lord of the Rings? It's you could tell like Lucas really like respects what he did. He's like they were asking him something about Lord of the Rings and like Star Wars, and he's like, oh, it's different, but he's like, Lord of the Rings was in no way easier. But what's funny is that he just that they were so dumb, that the studio was so dumb, and he's like he said, I'm gonna go make all three for the price of one. If I do one, I can do all three for the price of one. And they're like, oh, okay. And he's like, they believed it. Like he thinks it's hilarious. He's like, they believed it. And then he goes in and makes all of the hard parts and then doesn't make all of the other parts. So then that way they had to like fill it in. Like you could tell Lucas was like respect, like on that one for Peter Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah. That's you got to get your foot in the door, and then you got to get them financially on the hook. And then you have leverage to negotiate. Like everything is about negotiations, Like,
at the end of it, Lucas is like, "Good thing it worked." Basically, saying if it didn't work, he was going to be fucked, If it had,
he'd be fucked. But he also would have found work like in other countries on some other shit or something. You know what I mean? I don't think that dude was an independent film guy. He would have found a way.
Yeah, I like Dead Alive more than his actual successful stuff.
Right.
That was I like more of that Sam Raimi kind of fan film thing that he had going on. That was great.
He's lost. That's why I respect James Gunn so much, because James Gunn hasn't lost his trauma roots, right? Like a lot of these guys, they lose it when they go through this system for whatever reason.
Right.
Don't know.
Lost another kid through the system. All right. So Arya was thinking that there was some super big Thrawn scoop coming because it was in the title, but just about this story. Dave Filoni confirms that Grand Admiral Thrawn is the big bad of the Mandalorian era. Now, we've, of course, already known this and stuff like that, but the thing is that Dave Filoni is just confirming it, and that there's value in that. There's a little bit of comfort, a little bit of just a tip for Bestman Bulletin, if you will.
No, Jason, I said he was going to have a big old bed. It's going to be like a big race car. You know what I'm saying? We can all get on it, go vroom.
He's the big bed.
Intense.
He's the big blue bed.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. You think he has like a Prius, or do you think he had like a Saturn? Maybe a Dodge Viper.
Dodge Viper. Yeah, I think
always wanted one, Jason.
I think he drives one of those new Volkswagens from 20 years ago that looks stupid.
He's got a Farfig Nugan. Oh my
Arvid
god!
Nugan.
I gotta cut him off, dude.
David Letterman's like, oh man, you're stealing my jokes from 30 years ago now.
That's what I do.
In 2019, The Mandalorian debuted on the small screen, acting as one of the sole reasons to sign up for Disney streaming service on Disney Plus. The series was created by Jon Favreau, who worked closely with Star Wars Rebels creator. By the way, Bestman, the little like colon thingy here, Star Wars doesn't have one because Disney XD wanted you to think that show was Star Wars rebelling itself. And I'm not fucking kidding, bro. They were like, yeah, remove it. Disney made them remove it because Star Wars rebels. This ain't your fucking dad's Star Wars. It's just going to try to do everything like your dad's Star Wars. So anyway, Star Wars Rebels creator Dave Filoni to bring his vision and story that Favreau had to life, and did so to great success. In the years that followed, Favreau and Filoni wrote follow-up seasons to the hit series and began expanding the world during that time period, creating spin-off series such as the Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, and Skeleton Crew. Every series that Favreau
that's 2 out of 3, Jason.
Maybe. Every series that Favreau and Filoni are behind during this time period are interconnected and is building towards an exciting crossover event, which will arrive in the form of a movie which is being written and directed by Dave Filoni himself, which was announced at Star Wars Celebration last month. Currently, little is known about the upcoming crossover film, which, for the purpose of this article, will be referred to in this article as the Mando-verse movie, because that's what Rob likes. Rob loves Mando-verse. He's like,
it's a Mando movie, not Mando-verse movie. That's what we're getting. A little different.
During celebration, Filoni remained tight-lipped. What? He's opening those things right up and doing whatever you want. Filoni remained tight-lipped on the flick, simply revealing that it focused on the conflict between the New Republic and the Imperial Remnant. But it could feature unspecified characters from across the Mando-verse and perhaps even past series and legends. Though not confirmed, it seems as if characters such as Din, Djarin, Ahsoka, Tano, and the Ghost Crew will play an integral part in the upcoming event film. Based on the Imperial Shadow Council revealing that they're being led by Thrawn in the 3rd season of The Mandalorian, along with Thrawn acting as the main threat of the Ahsoka series, and based on what we know of that show, it seems obvious that by the time the Mando-verse movie comes around, the Grand Admiral Thrawn would be the biggest threat to the galaxy and likely the primary antagonist of the feature. Recently, Empire Magazine also started releasing excerpts from the upcoming Secret Invasion issue, which releases later this week. And within the issue, the magazine has interviews with various creatives and stars of the upcoming Star Wars project, one of which being Dave Filoni. During the chat with Empire, Filoni confirmed the speculation that Grand Admiral Thrawn is the true big bad of the Mando-verse time period. Filoni says, definitely in my eyes, when Timothy Zahn wrote Heir to the Empire, Thrawn became this very iconic villain because he was very different than anything we'd seen before. He wasn't another helmet-wearing, lightsaber-wielding bad guy, you know? There's a lot of pull to make characters like Vader because it's so iconic. But the boldness that Tim had was to make somebody that wasn't like that that didn't have those abilities but could fight in a different way. In the word Star Wars, in the word Star Wars, war is a part of it. Him being a Grand Admiral, a leader, a military strategist, a Moriarty archetype, somebody that will outthink you, out-strategize you, that really resonated. He's a critical player in this time period. We're fortunate to have that character, fortunate to have Lars Mikkelsen playing him. So Filoni's...
Well, everything Filoni's great at writing, right?
I don't know. on that one,
find out. We're gonna find out.
One, I don't know. I mean, in Star Wars Rebels, well, actually, we know. I think we know what Thrawn does, and I think they're going about it a different way. I don't disagree with the way they're going about it, but more on that in a second. Filoni's comments don't come as much of a surprise as fans have assumed since the reveal in The Mandalorian Season 3. And what's known about Ahsoka and the Grand Admiral is the biggest threat to the galaxy during the time period. But it's nice to get confirmation that the executive producer of these various shows and then the director of the upcoming Mando-verse movie, which is rumored to be aiming for December 2026 release. The latest issue of Empire Magazine releases later this week, and Ahsoka releases exclusively sometime in August on Disney+. And then you can follow Bespin here and give him a coffee. Yeah, so I had that report that from that Ahsoka literally ends with Thrawn returning, and then he has this arsenal, this Legion of Doom under him that are the tools to destroy the Republic if he can, which obviously he doesn't. There's a Twitter account that goes around and says that I'm reporting that the Republic is torn asunder and it's in shambles and destroyed. And I'm like, no, that literally happens in episode 7. We literally fucking see it in episode 7 when it gets blown up. So I why would I fucking say that? But
my favorite, Jason, is when Filoni states the obvious. He goes, Star Wars has stars in it and wars in it. And sometimes we just have the wars, and that means you got admirals and captains.
A W, an A, an R, an S.
Oh, you got little torpedo submarines. You know what I'm saying? You got the galley, you got the poop deck. He just explains the fucking bullshit. You're like, no shit.
I'm about poop decks. I don't know why. I know why.
Never thought. That is some deep shit. I gotta get Filoni and Zack Snyder in a room and start talking. We gotta put these two together. I love them, but it's just it's just different. It's a different conversation from saying Gilroy will come in there and talk about the French Revolution, who then the family that ran the guillotines, and he's like, and in this movie it's called Robo and Cops, so we got cops and robos in it, yeah. Wow, never thought of it before.
Never
glad you're in charge.
It before. Yeah. I feel like that whenever I get people that are mad about a Star Wars plot because that plot doesn't lead to peace, though, and you're like, it's Star Wars. They have to really fuck this up or the whole thing doesn't exist, Hey,
can you imagine at the end of episode 1, The Phantom Menace, they just negotiated it in the first 15 minutes and it's over? Negotiations went well.
Negotiations were short.
Yeah, they were short. Hey, can we make that fan film? It's just called Negotiations Were Short, and it's just a 5-minute version where they go in there, they agree, and then they leave.
Well, yeah, Padme goes, call for a vote of no confidence. Everybody agrees. The vote passes. The end. So
the end.
But yeah, that's the thing about it, Rob, is that I think Ahsoka might get kind of a pass on all of those things because I don't think that they sound like they don't apply to the story. In the sense that we have the Shadow Council who's like, oh, when Thrawn gets here, we're going to fuck shit up. Everybody's looking at their watches waiting for that, and they're kind of starting to get antsy. And then they're trying to extract him from the place that he is. So they're bringing him home. And, and he's even, but the one thing that I think that might be to his credit as a character and if done in a fun way, is that while he is out in this fucked up place, he's still working it. He's still working the angles. And when he gets home, the angles are ready to be worked. So it does come off smart or it could come off smart if the execution is there for how those things come together, because we don't kind of know. And I have a feeling a lot of it might be simply implication, but sometimes implication can go a long way. Like we don't necessarily need to know how he met the witch necessarily, but there does, but there's going to be
if it's written anything like that last episode or so, or Mando with the Shadow Council, then I don't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Did Filoni write on that episode? I'm not sure if he wrote on that episode on the one that had the Shadow Council.
He co-wrote the Lizzo episode, right?
No. He co-wrote the 7th episode. He didn't write the 8th.
Okay.
So he did. What was it? He did 7 and was it 5? Yeah,
and then
it was the one with Ahmed Basti wrote as well.
Right.
Ahmed Basti, right.
Yeah. So we don't really know what the writing process is. So is it really story? It's hard to say. But I would also throw out there that if you were just asking my opinion about who would be the better writer, I would have thought Favreau would have been the better writer than Filoni, who's
I'm checked out on him.
Story.
I can't.
Mm-hmm.
After Boba Fett and Mando season 3, like I'd honestly rather trust Filoni with it at this point.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was implying. Is I would have thought for sure. I would have expected the Favreau stuff from Filoni, more than not, and it's not. So yeah, I don't know what Filoni's going to bring on that front. It's a really, like, it's almost an impossible read. The one thing that I would say that's good about that Ahsoka series is the fact that he has written all of those characters before. They're mostly his characters, and that he's created. So I think what he does with them will at least be in the spirit of the character. Like it won't be like when the Grand Inquisitor shows up in Kenobi and big rebels Grand Inquisitor fans are like, that doesn't feel like the guy to me. That likely won't happen on this show for those people. But I don't know. I mean, I also look at what's her name as Hera in the costume, and I'm like, I don't like how it looks. It doesn't it looks too cartoony to me.
It doesn't look right.
Looks too clean and perfect and stuff. But the other
Jason, for this movie to come out that he's making, and every knobhead on the internet to complain, they're like, oh, Ahsoka's the lead character, and then just complain for fucking months and months and months. I know people who haven't even watched Rebels and Clone Wars and all that shit and complain about Ahsoka. You don't know her story, bro. Fuck off. I don't respect your opinion. And a lot of people do it. I don't know. Just something pisses me off, I suppose.
I'm coming
at a topic of do research,
Yeah. I'm kind of coming at Filoni and the film from the same angle, but a different way, where it's either Filoni's going to come and make a Star Wars movie and it's going to fucking be amazingly brilliant. And why didn't they just do this from episode 7 on? What took you so fucking long, Lucasfilm? Or he comes out and he makes the Star Wars movie and it's fucking, episode 11 of The Mandalorian or something. And you're just like, okay, that was that. We could stop talking about it now. You know what I mean? On that front.
It feels like the best thing to give him and also the worst thing to give him. The best being he's obviously played in the Mando universe thing for at that point it would have been, I don't know, say 6-7 years, when you include writing. So he knows these characters, he knows this universe, he knows the time period really well. But also it's a big jump going from doing a couple of episodes of Ahsoka and Mando to a full feature film, which is we assume it's the second movie to hit cinemas for Star Wars, and at that point close to 10 years. Yeah. So it's a big task for him. I hope he's up to it. He's been essentially groomed for it since Rogue One. That's the first set he started visiting.
Realistically, earlier on, Lucas was looking to maybe use him for like Underworld, and was looking that when they started to, he wasn't going to do it. Like he wasn't going to have him directed at that point. The guy wasn't ready. But yeah, but in terms of like
when I met George, I said, "Groom me, George. Groom me.
Groom me.
I'm ready. I'm groom me, George.
Yeah.
I could do it."
George takes a little brush and brushes his back hair. But no, I mean like yeah. So
I used to use that on Wicket, Jason. I had the same little brush. Yeah.
In terms of like Kathleen Kennedy, yeah, you're totally right. But then you could also like take that from before that, like in a lot of ways, like the guy is, if there was ever a Star Wars PhD one could go for, this is the guy who went through the program. You know what I mean? To like do it. And so if we go this way and then it doesn't produce something really stellar, then it's just like, that's not possible. It doesn't work that way.
The way they were talking about the celebration, it was like he was the second coming of Jesus. It was ridiculous. Like the way they built him up, it was like he's had this moment coming for 10 years. Like, he basically shapes our like universe. Every actor, every like person doing a project, they all speak to Dave. He helps shape everything you ever see. Like he's the man for the job. Like there's a lot like on his shoulders. Like, and I don't think it's his fault. Like he didn't put that weight on himself. Like I think it's a big jump for him. I hope he can land it. But we'll see. Like, because I would have thought like maybe you get Filoni to write the movie, but have Favreau direct it. That's the way I would have gone. Like Favreau as a director, I've got no problems. I got problems with Favreau as a writer.
Right.
Like, so I don't know, but
I would also throw out there that this being a film, it may go that way. Like Filoni may turn in his first draft or his draft of it, and they may say like, this is good, but we need someone else to like punch this up and to take this into a final draft from where you're at. That could happen. It's possible. I also think it's actually possible that Filoni's movie, if Hollywood goes in a really bad place, might end up being the first movie, in the sense that the Rey film has the most development to go, and if it can't be developed, his is the movie that I think would be the easiest to develop right after.
This has been my argument for them doing it in the first place. Was you already get out of casting. You get out of casting, you have production design, not covered, but mostly figured out. You could cut out a shitload of that R&D ideation phase for your world and your universe and really build around your sequences. So sequences, location scouting. Do the characters have is there an arc of some point? You know what I mean? That's a satisfying theatrical popcorn experience here that blah, blah, blah. You just cut a lot of work out. It's the thing that's the most primed to go. Yeah. You already have an audience built in that is aware of this shit. You don't have to explain to them what a fucking Mandalorian is. Like,
well, and like I would imagine somebody like Filoni in his position, like has this like idea in his head. Like there's this shot and like, it's like Ahsoka Tano with their lightsaber out and Ezra Bridger and Luke Skywalker and Boba Fett, and they're like back to back being circled by stormtroopers, Thrawn's undead stormtroopers. And like he's like, and so like in his mind, it's like, I want to do that. That's the moment. That's the fucking Hollywood moment that I've wanted to make my whole life.
That line. Listen, that's just what
hometown buffet
at Starbucks.
I was going to say hometown buffet, but yeah, sounds right. And
he hasn't gone to a buffet since COVID.
But in that kind of scenario, like when you want that moment, that big kind of thing, something of that flavor, and like when he thinks of Thrawn in that sense, he has something like that for Thrawn as well. Like it's like that maneuver that happens in Last Command, for instance, the third in the Heir to the Empire trilogy with the ships, like that kind of thing. Like you want those moments to happen. So the writing that story ends up being, how do we write to those moments? How do we get the characters there, from where they're at, where the TV series is,
opening crawls.
Opening crawls. but it seems more like a natural, like it seems like things would fall into place a lot more than where you go to get a script for the Rey film and now she's 65, and you're like, oh shit, no, we gotta go back to the drawing board. Like, I don't think there's going to be a lot of going back to the drawing board. It's more just like logistically figuring out the story and stuff. and making it simple and streamlined. And I would also think that while the show is going to capstone this era, phase 1 of the television series, or however you want to look at it, if you want to look at it through a Marvel lens, it's going to have to be a movie that you could just show up in the theater and see by itself too.
Well, that opening crawl covers a bit of that, though, Jason. So
a bit of it,
in terms of it being self-contained, yeah, it's this. There's no way these movies can be Mandalorians, where it's all lore-based and shit. You know, it has to be a sequence-driven, summer fun, trailer-worthy film that pays off emotionally. But
well, and where I'm going with this is that I don't think this is what they're going to do, but I think people should prepare for the idea that the main protagonist of this could be somebody we don't even know yet. It could be a new character. Mistake. You know, I mean, it could be though.
Big mistake.
You know, and it might go that way because if I were Filoni and I were wanting to have this Mandalorian universe, but I was also getting into film now and probably really hoping to make my career more about making Star Wars films from here on out, I think I would probably want a protagonist that unites those characters, but also I could have exist in that film space. So that way I've carved out my film space and my TV space. And when those things are totally 100% the same thing all the time, I think maybe it disempowers you a little bit, but he'd have to have a really fucking great idea. It'd have to be a really like compelling character and something really cool, to like do that, like Mara Jade or something.
Well, then it ain't a Mando-verse movie.
You know what I mean?
A new thing featuring Mando-verse people. This is gonna be like an Avengers. I told you it's gonna be probably like Rangers of the fucking Mando Republic. You know, where they're all fucking teamed up to fight Thrawn.
Yeah,
you know, they gotta just, you know, Mando or Bo-Katan or one of these fucking characters has to get everyone to get together. You know, like he'll be like, Mando's my Nick Fury. Yeah, he's got eye patch and shit. So like, you know, like rounds everyone up and fights.
Yeah, that's like the whole question, you know, because I mean, there's like really obvious angles to it, you know, like you know, Luke Skywalker that would be your Nick Fury, right? That would be if we were to take the Marvel.
I thought it would have been like somebody from the Ghost Crew. Because Ahsoka's out there like with Ezra and Sabine, like she knows the threat. Like
you guys are overthinking this. The only character that everyone in these Mando series knows and likes is Mando. Like Carson likes him, Bo-Katan likes him,
Carson
likes him. You know,
Carson
couldn't get fucking anyone to do dick shit, you know. R5 barely likes him. So I'm just saying, like that's how they think.
Yeah, I think Luke Skywalker is going to be very prominent in that film. That's not based off of anything that I've heard or whatever. I just feel like if you're giving Dave Filoni and looking at what they've done and you're giving him money to make a Star Wars movie, I just don't see how this doesn't become like essentially a Luke film in a way. And Mando, he's a bit dry at times, you know, and I'm not sure like if it was like a Mando film specifically. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know if he becomes the guy who you like interact with all of those characters through. You know,
yeah,
what I mean?
I think Ahsoka's gonna be the one with the most screen time. I genuinely do. Just like even if it's just how it's more connected to the Ahsoka series, but also like Dave's fixation with the character. Yeah, like he created it with George, but like she like I haven't got a problem with that. I like Ahsoka very much, but I think she'll be the one with the most screen time. I think Luke will play like a really big role, and he's like mentioned like Legends characters and characters from the past as well. Yeah,
and then so Boba becomes our Drax, right?
Oh yeah, Boba's Drax. You know, I think we'll see Han in this movie. You know, like we might even see Leia.
I was thinking about if they do go that way, if they do put these people all together like on a in that film. Like if Luke Skywalker and Boba Fett are together, you would think that might require a little bit of TV work to make that moment where they are reunited, and it's like it's cool. Because considering the fact that
that just gives you it gives you conflict in the movie though. Yeah, that movie's gonna need some conflict. So, and the Avengers don't get along until they get along, kind of deal. So,
right. So like Boba doesn't want to work with Luke, but we got it, guys, because the blue guy, kind of thing.
Yeah, he's like, I dropped you in a pit with respect. I mean, respect that. Like, respect it.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely. I think there's potential, but either way, that I would think if that doesn't happen, if they're just like, oh, it's cool. They just don't even acknowledge it. That would be strange to me. If that's
Boba, if your jetpack had just been out of fuel like every other fucking Mando, you never would have flown in that Sarlacc in the first place. Like,
yeah,
right.
Unless you're Axel Wolves, who can like fly all the way to space.
You're right. Right.
Okay, so like check it out. They're like the conflict's happening, and then Luke's like, I almost lost my life once. I was on Hoth, a snow monster. It really roughed me up, put its thumb in my butt, and I got put in a back to tank. And Bubba be like, "What did you say?" And he's all back to tank. I was in a back to tank. He's like,
"What did you say?"
He's like, no. He's like, I guess we're all human here. I guess we've all been through some shit. And then they just hug.
Why did you say backed up? Why did you say backed up?
All this movie point. Will probably have a shot of Han, Luke, and Leia together, because that's one of the things people complain about not getting in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah. If they do, guaranteed $1 billion. I'm not saying the best thing to do. I'm just telling you how audiences react.
And de-aged 5-year-old Adam Driver.
Yeah, we're gonna get that Sears photo, right? This
the one with Han, Luke, Leia, and little.
By the way, I'm getting that printed and framed for my wall. Like I've decided that's going up with the family photos. My wife, I had to talk her into it, but it needs to go on the family photo.
Just randomly, that's up there.
Yeah, it needs to be out there.
Yeah. Well, and it like Jonesy. See, I think that you're not wrong, Jonesy. Jonesy says it's time for them to invent new characters and new patterns of action. Disney and Lucasfilm aren't exactly known for inventing phenomena like eternal orgasms. Luke has his big D is used up. Luke with his big D is used up. Yeah, that's where like the Mangold film, where like we got like the origin of the Jedi stuff. That's where like it's got to be something different. It's not like, oh, I'm running from the Empire and stormtroopers and I have a lightsaber. That's like I'm some person and I feel this pull and I don't know what it means.
That's why,
and then that's where that opportunity is. That's my hope.
Right.
That we get our cake and get to eat it too.
And that's why they announced 3 specific films. It doesn't have to do with timelines. It has to do with their target audiences. Mm-hmm. So the SOC film is for the group of kids that are currently grown up with the new Star Wars and love it. And there's a big bunch of them. They're just on the internet fucking telling you about it.
Right.
The Mando shit's for the people who've been following all the fucking Star Wars stuff when there haven't been movies, right? And there's a whole group of people that kind of only know that stuff. So that's for them. And then the Man's Gold is for the brand new shit that has the old world feeling, right? So it's specifically Jedi based. So that's what they're doing, like they're taking fucking 10 years to get there. I mean, I'm going to be like 52 by the time all this fucking shit comes out. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it took me until I was like almost 19 for them to make like a 4th one. So
but you have 19 more years in front of you. I don't got another.
Oh no!
Like when you got less years in front of you than you have behind, you start getting real picky about.
I'm not there yet. I'm gonna live to be 130. This world wants me to suffer. Don't you know? We're gonna live into the singularity, Rob. It's gonna be bad.
I'm already a ghost, Jason. I'm not doing too well.
this guy's in his 20s and he feels like George Costanza.
Right? Look, he's Costanza with a mustache. Like,
yeah, and like from like my perspective on that front though, like all of that is good to me because I like all of those things. So I'm okay with like those dimensions being explored. Like if it was all one thing, all one dimension of that, I wouldn't be happy. Like I love Andor. In reality, would I be super happy if I had like 19 seasons of shows like Andor to watch? I'd be super fucking jazzed. But in reality, there would come a point where I'm like, you know what though? I kind of just like want like some fucking fun space shit or some dumb shit with like, you know, Boba Fett fucking fighting with Tusken Raiders and shit. Like, I'd be like, there comes a point where
droids on a kitchen, you know,
rabbit robots running around kitchens, stuff like that. Sometimes, yeah, I actually like I don't mind it. Like, I don't mind anything like in equal measure, as I'm trying to say. It's just when it's all one thing or all one type of thing. Like I liked the prequels, but I could have empathy for the people who didn't, and then got 3 of those, and then that's all.
Oh no, we got 3 of those in like 12 years of fucking cartoons that all take place in between 2 fucking movies, in which the characters in the 3rd film act like none of that shit ever fucking happened, because it didn't.
What are you talking? You're confused yourself now. It takes place in the 3rd film. No, everything. There's no reason to act like any of that stuff happened.
Because it didn't.
It did. It did. No. George Lucas wrote it, and in fact, your take is so bad that the actual general consensus is that shit made that other shit better.
They're delusional.
No, it's true. I think more than not that is how people feel about it though. That is the common
people who when they experience trauma, like their brains rewrite to make sense out of the senseless.
You didn't even let it traumatize you.
I'm smart. I learned my lesson.
No, you're literally missing out on some of the best Star Wars ever created because you saw a 2-hour piece of shit film by that Warner Brothers insisted on putting out.
Yeah, and those are just like those people who make YouTube videos and say Batman Forever is really underrated, right, Jason?
That's you,
huh? Right. Now you see. No,
I don't.
Now you see.
That is the worst.
Now you understand. Imagine if you got 8 years of cartoons based on Batman Forever, right?
Man.
Yeah.
No.
We want it over with.
No, actually, what the show is like actually is if they made Batman Forever and then they went and made Batman the animated TV series in response to Batman Forever. That's what happened with the Clone Wars.
Like, and they try to sell you that they're connected somehow, but they're really not. They're 2 separate.
And they are.
No, they just say they are, but they
no. See, because you're not acknowledging that it's an anthology series. You're only looking at it from Anakin, Padme, and Obi-Wan's like perspective because that's all you know, and that's like 3 people in a war, and it's like the other people aren't a part of that film and don't play into that drama at all. It doesn't feel bad at all. It runs right up into the movie. Right now, you can literally watch up into the movie.
Yeah, and then I can watch the movie, pretend like none of that should ever happen because it didn't.
It did though. You're the only one who says it, Rob. It did. Star Wars is real, and as real as it is, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Look. Dave Wheeler, wheel this guy out of here. Wheel him out.
Yeah.
So Dave says, "Oh, Rob."
Apologists.
No, you know what, man? Like I said, I don't feel that way about Rebels. I like a lot of Rebels. I like the story of Rebels. But
my favorite's Resistance.
You know, yeah, no, but Rob, I'm not see if your point was I would be saying that Resistance is just as important. I'm not that guy. No. I'm not saying that. It's not. Clone Wars is George Lucas Star Wars, man. It's it's George Lucas.
With George Lucas Star Wars.
You're never done with it, you fool. You are never.
Makes for great jokes. I mean, endless jokes. I'll give him that. He gave us that. I could be here for the next 10 years making jokes about this and never get old. But
Tyrant says, you know how we know the CG Clone Wars happened? Anakin still got the scar. Oh shit, he did get the scar. But seriously, an original trilogy fan who dislikes the prequels, the Clone Wars are my prequels episodes 1 and 2. And like what Tyrant is saying is what is like that is the common. That is that is what most people say, dude.
I say clone troopers are going around farting. They're farting everywhere. Well, stop, and they all have the same smelling farts because they're clones. Like, no, I can't.
No, it just has to do with that kind of thing, like we're talking about, though. Like, where what side of the eccentricities does the pendulum swing, and what people are okay with. There's some people like where like Andor is the best thing that ever happened to Star Wars, and there's people that are like Andor is the most boring thing that ever happened to Star Wars. And I honestly feel like sophisticated palate can appreciate it all for the genres in which it is operating.
I like the rabbit chef scene in Book of Boba Fett. I don't think it was appropriate for the tone of what they were doing at that particular point. And that whole episode missed the point of what he was trying to do. And then it made no sense. Like, why would his ship just be sitting there for God knows how many fucking years doing jack shit in the same fucking condition? No one took one fucking item out. All of his shit's still in there. It's ridiculous. I can't deal with that. It's like that's the kind of shit that, you know, you can go, well, why don't you go? I'm not sitting through it. There's so much other creative Star Wars that when I get a Visions that just puts down 12 episodes of way more creativity, then I got to figure out how this one character tracks across 3 fucking years worth of content. I'm not up for it. And it's like 30 years worth of content across 3 years worth of war. Like,
what's fucking funny though is on most of those episodes of Visions that you like, I could go and tell you that they've already been done in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, but I don't have to sit there and watch the Clone Wars, do I? Because I have to deal with the acting, I have to deal with the story, I have to deal with these characters and the bullshit.
I feel like somebody might be defending a mood from 15 years ago right now.
I still feel this way. Like this is maybe I still feel this. I started and I can't watch.
You don't want to see what it looks like when Walter Murch directs Star Wars. You wouldn't want to see that. And it's
I don't even like the CGI. I don't like the art style too, man. Can't deal with it. It's
one of the best things. It's one of the best things ever. It's like, no, it is. It truly is. Like if it wasn't Star Wars, and it wasn't about some prequels that molested your feelings years ago, you would and that was just an original cartoon. You'd be like, this show is the fucking best. Everybody should watch Jason. it. That's what you would say. That's what you'd be saying. You'd be like, that is so good. This is the best show. This is what Star Wars should be.
I wouldn't be telling you how. I wouldn't be sitting here going like, and if you don't like it, you're not a real fan.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that.
No one said it. No one said it. Just look at this. Look at maybe Star Wars isn't for certain people. Someone's saying it.
He's saying for the fake fans.
Someone's always got some stupid shit to say, right, Jason? That's why I'm here.
He said he's saying for the fake fans. Hey, you decide if you're. Pistol Pete says Clone Wars is like Next Generation. First couple seasons suck, but then it's so good. And yeah, I think I wouldn't go that far even like to say like the first season like suck, like outright suck. But that season 3.5 to season 7 are fucking quality. Like Bad Batch. Like Rob makes all of Clone Wars sound like it's Bad Batch, and it's fucking completely not. Bad Batch was completely a different like beast and a completely like different thing. But it is what it is. Someday Rob's gonna watch it and he's gonna have to sing Rob's Wrong every day, and he will. It'll happen.
Don't worry, I already wrote the lyrics.
Don't worry, because there's not going to be any new scripted content for the rest of our fucking lives, Rob. So you will eventually go back to it. Like, I remember when they used to write scripts for shows, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now we don't do that no more. They just say, ChatGPT make a new Clone Wars series. And it just makes the whole thing. You don't have to worry. It just makes it.
Tyrant says, maybe Star Wars isn't for certain people if you haven't liked anything since 1980 or 83. Yeah, I usually agree with that. No, I mean, I really do, though. There's like the people that are like, I'm here for every Star Wars thing, but I haven't liked anything since the first 2 things when I was like 7. You're like, yeah, I don't think you like it, bud. Like, you might want to just like go do something else. I don't mean you, Rob. I mean, in general, though, like that is a thing. Like fucking, you know who they are. The Crawling Chaos says, and I also despise TV shows with tons of seasons. I have to sit through a ton of crap just to get a few good nuggets.
4 seasons is the primo spot for most TV series. 4 seasons.
And that's why you should watch Rebels.
Rebels is...
Fuck you. I sat through that. No. I'm not doing that again.
But you love Simon Kimber.
First 2 episodes. So don't get me started on Simon Kimber.
Okay.
In the room when I watched him
great
defend that X-Men movie, you know.
Wiseman, he's great. Did the Teen Titans? Come on, that Teen Titans show was good, and he brings that to.
Fuck Batman, right? Yeah.
But no. But the reality is on Rebels. the
Stephen
delivery.
Goldman was in charge of that, Jason. He did Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. What are you saying? Like,
yeah, no, but what do you call it? Rebels delivery is just not good. That you would never get past it. I don't think. Honestly, don't think you would. And I don't.
I think
you'd
have a harder time with Clone Wars, to be honest with you.
I think if he went and watched like the Krill arc, for instance, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but then you tell him to watch a specific arc, like with Rebels, just tell him to watch the straight Rebels.
Yeah, but I'm telling him with Clone Wars, because it's an anthology series that goes all over the fucking place in the Star Wars universe, that to like watch those crucial arcs, those 4-parter films, and like watch that film. Like, and I think he would. I would think that he would actually like enjoy that, and it's visually stimulating. It's like a purple world with neon all over it. It's really cool.
If you got Rob to watch like Clone Wars from the beginning, he's gonna hate himself. He's gonna hate what he's doing. I don't
think he should. Yeah, I don't think he should. I think he should go and he should like watch those, like I said, he should watch those like short films, and I think he would be like, this is good. I think he would like it. Yeah, and then if it won him over, he might be like, oh, fucking Gascon Meeber is hilarious, but probably wouldn't. So that's why I wouldn't suggest he watches it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't go there.
Yeah. Grit shitballs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Grub poopy knocker. Like, it's fucking stupid name.
Scroobius Pip.
Oh no, Scroobius.
All right, wait a minute.
All right. So by the way, Glup Shido, right? Okay. This is like a thing that came up on the show the other day, right? And it was okay about Glup Shido is a fake name used online to refer to returning characters from the Star Wars expanded universe in newer mainstream Star Wars media, which are known and praised by hardcore fans but unknown to the most general audience. The name Glup Shido was originally invented by Tumblr user Gom Jabbar on September 3rd, 2020. The post gained over 33,000 notes. And then Gom said, every time a new Star Wars movie or show is announced, all the fans be like, oh my God, Glup Shido is back. And then they're like laughing. So I had to bring that up because it came up and I said that. And then somebody was like, no, it's just a background character. And that's what they call it. And I was just like, I said, okay, I thought I was wrong. But then I looked it up and I wasn't. So that's what it is. Because somebody's going to like start giving me comments saying, you don't know what Glup Shido means.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with Jason when it comes to the origin of internet memes. He tracks it pretty well.
I don't know my memes at all.
Yeah, but when you do, I've never seen you say some shit and then not fucking be right about it. You know?
Oh, on that, yeah. But anyways,
I introduced Jason to the Ben Affleck memes like a couple months ago.
Ben Affleck just going to fucking you get donuts. Ben Affleck smoking cigarettes. Yeah. He seems to be having a pretty good time.
He's in a new movie this week with directed by Robert Rodriguez, which Rodriguez describes as what does he describe? Does he describe as Hitchcock on steroids? Is how he described it in the movie.
Yeah, that's just him talking about his life. Like
that's he worked out and he watched Psycho and he's all Hitchcock on steroids.
Currently has 50% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, that's being generous.
That bad, huh?
Yeah.
Dave says, "Yeah, the Krell arc is really good, Rob. It is. It's like they were taking shit based off of Band of Brothers and turning it into Star Wars, and they did a good job."
Well, there you go.
Tyrant says, "Bad Batch is the sludge left in the garbage disposal after you clean rinse Clone Wars and drop bruises into Rebels. It gets sliced into the Resistance, and you get the Bad Batch." Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it too. It's just kind of empty. As the truth says, Rob said he can't confirm or deny Boba's future.
Did you say that, Rob?
Yeah, I said that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, right. That's on record.
It's on record.
I mean, I can't confirm it. Can you? No one can. Look at the way that dude eats a turkey leg.
Can't deny it either.
He's got 1 foot in the glub shitto, you know?
Baymax says they need to make Thrawn win that movie a la Infinity War, maybe even a second movie before he's ultimately defeated. They shouldn't waste him in a one movie and done move. Yeah,
they will.
That's
they will.
But well, see, I would agree with Baymax on that if this was only primarily a film series, but since it's a capstone thing and he's already been introduced in, like, if he was introduced in the film, then I'd be like, yeah, you should continue this. You should make this like more things in the film series. But since he's already have had like a season, maybe 2, potentially 3 or 4 seasons of it, I think we do end up with waste his ass, kill the Smurf is kind of where you end up with that one. I would think
they got to make room for the First Order.
Well, it's not really gonna. I don't think that's really gonna I don't think that's gonna be like what the whole reason is. I don't even know if it might just be inferred. It's hard to say like how far they'll take that, because the First Order, like, you can't have it come up and just be like, well, here we are, now we're at episode 7's doorstep, because it's like this happens and then we have like another like fucking 15 years or something. You know what I mean? We have like years of them out there in the netherworld regions just being assholes, stealing kids in secret to build up their armies. So
yeah, that'll be the new series, Stealing Kids.
That will probably. I mean, no, there was a point with Skeleton Crew where weren't you like speculating that, Bespin? You're like, what if these kids they tried to steal these kids to make them stormtroopers? Like when we didn't know what like the early stuff was.
Oh yeah. And like way before we knew anything about it, essentially.
Yeah. And it's like but that's totally on the table here. I mean, because like when you look, when we get like about like how old Finn's probably like 20 years old in TFA, and if we assume he's like around the first gen of the kidnapped kids, then they're not far out. They're about a couple of years, about 3 or 4 years from where they're at in the stories, about time that would begin to happen theoretically.
Wave 1, right? Of the action figures there.
Wave one of kidnapped kids, but
and Jude Law is prototype Snoke. That's what they based it off of.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Palpatine's like, I want to be extraordinarily good looking. I want to get seriously laid when I come back. Like, oh shit. Yeah, he's like, make me look like Jude Law or something like that.
But make me 9 foot, so like more, they all want to fuck me.
Okay, so let's say there's this other galaxy and it's like circa 2005. Who's getting more ass than Hayden Christensen? Make me look like him. Because Palpatine has to be pretty mad about that, right? I mean, until he got burned up. But all right, I think we did it, guys. And as the truth was, I was on about the Rodriguez new interview with Boba that Boba mentioned. Okay. Oh yeah, that was like funny, or not funny, but I thought it was actually telling, because if Boba wasn't coming back, I don't think you would play that game. I mean, I know he's coming back, but I'm saying like I don't think you would play that game if he was like, no, he's not. You'd be like, nah, they're fucking not doing it, or I don't know. There is no.
I hope they make a season 2. I hope it's as good as the last one, so we can people can get the thick fucking skulls. Like not everyone is up to making this stuff. We could just keep making shitty Star Wars so we can know what not to do.
But you're also like you're going at it from the perspective of they're going to do exactly the same thing that they did last time. But that's never been the way this has gone. Or you'd be happy with Mando 3.
No, first time. If it's Robert Rodriguez, oh yes.
If it's Robert Rodriguez, I mean, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
he'll do exactly the same thing.
I mean, he didn't write that. And when we look at the problems of Boba 1 and Mando 3, the commonality isn't Rodriguez. It's the writing.
Right, it's Favreau.
And it's Favreau.
And I think he did do the exact same thing. The one that's the oddball is Kenobi. That's got nothing to do with them, and they ended up in a worse place. So that's what's weird.
But it's not. But everything that you're talking about isn't the same thing, though. Each of these errors and successes is completely random. I mean, episode 7's not like 8, which isn't like 9. None of these things are like it's so that's why I'm always
fair, Ryan wanted to put Burning Man in The Last Jedi, and they wouldn't let him.
They said no. But no, but that's why I'm like, like if they do another one, it's an opportunity to do something better. I mean, that's the only like healthy like perspective that you could really have on it.
Sequence,
unless
Moto joins the team, right? Haley Moto joins the team.
Well, when you look at when you look at how these things tend to go and how they where they do crowd pleasers, I think it does probably end up starting with that whole gang getting massacred and just getting fucking destroyed in the opening, and then that's like the fucking the horse his head in the bed from it's war.
What if they put a hammerhead in the bed? The head hammerhead. Like
hammerhead. You should do that.
It's that hammerhead from Bad Batch too. The one that ran.
Yeah.
That one, like...
yeah, but like because the Boba Fett concept, the idea behind Boba Fett, there's nothing fucking wrong with it. But yeah, what they did on it was fucking not. Or I shouldn't even say. But the thing about it is like it's also something that we talk about it so much. Like I feel like I have to watch it every now and then, like look back at it to make sure like I'm like my discourse isn't the more prominent idea than what it was, because there was so much good shit in the Book of Boba Fett. Him with the Tuskens, like you can see what worked and you can see what didn't work from it. Like it's not even like confusing. You know what I mean? What worked and what didn't.
They happened. I've rewatched those shows recently, the ones we did, and I stand by my opinions.
But it's like the all of the stuff with like there was great moments with Boba, so it's not like it was all a fucking wash. And it's the same thing with Kenobi. Is like if they do a Kenobi and they think that they're gonna go and they're gonna like do it all in the volume and pretend like that's Tunisia, it's not gonna work. And I think they know that. I think that's maybe a reason that we don't have another right now, or so quick. You know what I mean?
But again, with Kenobi as well, like it wasn't all supposed to be a volume show. Like they were supposed to be in Pinewood when Pinewood didn't have a volume.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, that's unfortunate for Kenobi.
Yeah.
And again, like in January of like that year that they started filming, like they were building sets at like Pinewood still.
Right.
They were still like at that point actively going to do it. So, and they started filming it in what was it, April of that year? Mm-hmm. So within 3 months they had to like move the production to LA and like do all the previous stuff on the volume and everything. And there's just a short like turnaround for pre-production over there, and then like a extremely short like
post-production. But it doesn't change things like hiding the kid in the coat stuff.
No, it doesn't change that. No.
But like, no. But hiding the kid in the coat to escape from the Death Star, if executed properly, could have been fucking funny and charming. But it wasn't. Why I said
but the characters have to acknowledge it's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And I said that in our initial review. Yeah. You got to have a point where he goes, "This is all I got, man." But he's already using the Force, so at that point, just wave your hand across a few people's faces, just enough to get to a ship. Like, it's just the logic of it. And that's the lack of logic across that series is across the whole series, and it's not just the believability of where they shot some shit in the sand. Like, even on Book of Boba Fett, when there's even on the episode 2, look, I like when he fights the stop motion monster, right? I actually thought putting a what's that fucking dude, Harryhausen style monster in Star Wars was brilliant, right? Mm-hmm. But then what do you do with the fight? Nothing. Like the fact that I could literally see the sandbar line in shot almost is irrelevant to all this other stupid stuff. Like for instance, in Kenobi, like I just know this. I don't even know if I could articulate it why, but I know that scene in Kenobi where there's the fire and Vader doesn't cross it and it confused people. Why doesn't he just walk through the fire? He's fucking Darth Vader and he has the suit and everything and stuff like that. Yeah. If that set was built at Pinewood, it would have been well fucking clear why he couldn't do it, or why it wasn't logistically, like it didn't make sense, and why he like let him go, and like the coverage would have been there
to express it, and that was
probably
the problem.
Also wouldn't have been like a set full of fucking like dirt mounds.
Yeah. Right. It would have been so much. It would have been like, so you would have felt exactly like, and the people who make those sets are really good at conveying exactly what's going to happen in the script and why.
I'll never underestimate your production designers. You know, like they're probably the most unsung fucking people, like in terms of fan knowledge of what happens on a show. You know, production designers are everything. The look of the show is everything. The logic of the show, visually speaking, comes down to production design. And Kenobi literally has like fan film level production design going on
at times. Like, at times it definitely does, and that's why like I, you know, it just seems like these like little cut corners culminated with that show not being all that it could have been. But
fair enough.
That's why I'm not mad at Joe B. Harold. I'm not in love with him either. You know what I mean? I'm not in love with him, but I'm also not like, I don't know like how much of this stuff like really didn't play because of Joe B. Harold, and Joe B. Harold maybe writing as if it wasn't the production that it was. That's like the other side of it, because if you were writing to your strengths and the way how you were going to make that, then he fucking sucked and fucked it up. But on the other hand, if he didn't know, it's like, how is that his fault? You know what I mean? Like that, the moments that didn't play, like, was that, but he was also the showrunner. So co-showrunner or whatever. So there is something to be said about that, I guess. But As the Truth says, met with some friends the other day, and one of them who has seen all the Disney Plus Star Wars hated Andor so much. He loved Boba, laugh out loud. Another saw 2 Kenobi episodes and they put him off trying Andor. Yeah, and that's like the thing is like, you know, you could be that guy that's just like, I fucking just barbarians and shit, and like Boba's cool.
My dad loved Deuce Bigelow. You know,
he's a Mel Gigolo.
Yeah, my dad loved Mall Cop. You know, my dad like genuinely. So, you know, my dad wasn't a stupid person. He just had poor taste. Sometimes friends have poor taste. As a true, you know. But
it's hard to tell a mainstream audience or the masses who don't follow every like little subtlety that this shit isn't all the same all the time, and because they like just to like, you know, like superheroes are superheroes, but that's not the case either, is it? Like going and seeing fucking the Snyder cut is not like the same as going and seeing fucking Guardians of the Galaxy for completely different reasons. However you value those, they're not the same thing. But that's what those people continually do to Star Wars, and that's why they just go, it's all an Obi-Wan Kenobi with the laser sword, and it's not, you know. But that's also why Lucasfilm doesn't know how to sell Star Wars or make it usually, and who they're making it for, and why, and what a general
their
consensus
PR
is.
in general. Lucasfilm's PR in general is probably the worst of all the major studios, in my opinion. Like across the board, not just in terms of selling their shows, but just the way like Kathy's given certain things to say. It's like you got to work on those talking points. You know, you got to workshop this a little bit better.
Yeah,
you know, like seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, the one of the problems, like classically, I think going back to the dawn of fucking time, is that Star Wars essentially marketed itself, and then these people came into Lucasfilm and were like, "Oh yeah, they can do the job," because the movie sold them fucking selves. But when it came time to sell fucking Willow, Howard the fucking Duck, you know, I mean, not really Howard the Duck, but Radioland Murders, Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, like, and then you're like, you know,
they all wanted to have something to say about Drew Struzan's poster, which I gotta tell you, man, to this fucking day, when I see those prequel posters on the wall, and I just get to that Revenge of the Sith poster, it's so fucking, it just sits so fucking wrong. You know, like it doesn't look right, man. Doesn't look anything right. It's so ridiculous that you know. I mean, Struzan rips him a fucking new hole in his fucking book. You know, you know, and he's like, hey, the Phantom Menace. Like even people I know who fucking hated the Phantom Menace, and I wasn't one of those dudes. I was out there defending it when the Phantom Menace came out. Fucking even they love the poster. You know what I mean? No one thought the poster looked like shit. No one was
Right.
like, that's some direct-to-DVD bullshit. But you get to that third Revenge of the Sith poster, and you're like, this is giant gaping Vader head that makes no fucking sense. It's just so weird.
Well, and then when you look at that poster, and then look at what followed in the years right after, what those people picked to make posters and DVD covers, it was completely the worst era of our lives. I would say of film, posters and
DVDs from 2006 on up, bullshit.
Yeah.
If you go back and even look at like even the way they were doing 2-disc special editions for Emperor's New Groove, it had some level of fucking like, this is special, like this is serious. This is the 2-disc.
Yeah, we care about
fucking
this.
llama, you know, like even though it's a fucking llama, they're like they put some effort in it. You compare it to the highs of the 7 like 4-disc special, right? Where it was all the case was all like the notes of the murder and shit. But you get to 2006 Heroes pack, you know, or fucking like Transformers, and you just bullshit, you know.
Yeah, and Crawling Chaos says, "Remember the roadblock in Kenobi? Laugh out loud." Yeah, 100%. Like that's that's something where like I feel like the writer didn't need to write. It's very fucking obvious you can't walk around it. Like he didn't need to write that. You know what I mean? And it wasn't written, and I don't know if it was, but probably wasn't written. And then you end up with this like thing where people are like, what the fuck? And that's what happened. That's where the production, I think, being what it was, cheap, COVID on the is when stupid shit like that happens. Yeah, because I mean, like realistically, it would have been very easy just to have that. Just to have done a mat or something of that gate going on for 20 miles. You know what I mean? Like you just look down as far as you can see, there's that wall kind of thing or something. And this is the choke point. Because it's supposed to be a choke point, but it was like, no, it's not really a choke point. It's just a little gate, and these people are law-abiding citizens who refuse.
Literally, it looked like if you were to make a goof skit on
like Mad
TV, you know?
Crawling Chaos nailed it. It was like the Krieg scene in Men in Tights. When Robin Hood and Little John fight, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, guys. All right, let's call it a day. Today's Penny's birthday, so I gotta go and gotta get a couple of things, and then
Chuck E. Cheese,
Olive Garden. Yeah,
honestly, unlimited breadsticks or singing mouse. They don't do the singing mouse anymore, and they don't do the strobe light. And they don't have any good video games, so I gotta go Olive Garden.
when you go to Chuck E. Cheese now, they have an automated robot that does a lot of the Chuck E. Cheese stuff, and it's usually broken or like its like eyes are weird, and it's just kind of scary. It's a kind of 5 Nights at Freddy's-esque.
But Bulletin's too young for this. But we used to have this thing called Chuck E. Cheese. We have it now, but it's not the same. But when I was a kid, and they would have like this wall where these singing animatronic mice and animals would play bullshit music. But when you would go underneath it, they'd have this cubby hole you can go into, climb upstairs, and go down a slide. But one of the rooms, when you first walked into, was a strobe light. And these kids would go in there and it would just freak out on the strobe light.
Just have fucking seizures and shit going in that room.
Yeah. They'd be all high on soda and fucking shitty pizza. And just go in there and wig out in the strobe light, it was my favorite thing.
I want to see a movie on this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still like to look behind the curtain and see the dead eyes of the gorilla guy from the band. He's like,
well, it's why everyone loves Five Nights at Freddy's, because that's kind of like your memories of Chuck E. Cheese are the more horrific. This could all go really bad in 3 seconds.
Do you think that movie's gonna be any good when it comes out this year?
I doubt it. But
the Henson puppetry is going to be worth watching. The Henson crew and all the puppets. So
that's the thing about it is it is like that movie should be like an obvious easy win if they don't overcomplicate it, and they don't.
Oh, Jason, remember that one guy on your show. There's no easy wins.
Oh,
remember that doesn't exist.
Fuck, you're right. No, it's gonna suck.
Yeah,
it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck.
Yeah. A trailer leak for it the other day. 5 nights.
Oh yeah? How'd it look?
Yeah. Couldn't see shit. Somebody had their name plastered all over it. So couldn't really tell. But so it should be coming soon if this leaked.
I think they like fucked up not just making the restaurants. Like, like, you know what I mean? Like a spooky Five Nights at like their own Chuck E. Cheese kind of thing. Like, to start making like the main ones in big cities.
A Chuck E. Cheese in a COVID economy? Like, you think who's gonna put that money up?
Oh, I mean, Five Nights at Freddy's was my kid's been into it for like a long time. It was going pretty strong before COVID, wasn't it? It's like Luke has been into it for like years. Like, yeah, they've lost a lot of money.
There should be at least one, like at a Universal Studios.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, there should be one.
Yeah, or put them in all the Six Flags or some shit. You know, do something that like
Universal's put out the movie, right? So like it would make sense if they did it. Like,
yeah, like it. I don't know if he would care now, but you know, he's almost 10, and they probably could have got, you know, because he has the games, he has the figures, like, you know, he's into it. So they did a VR game that was kind of fun. We played that during lockdown.
When there's a trailer, he's going to want to go see it, in the same way that once there was a trailer for the He-Man movie, we wanted to see that too, even though that kind of already ran its course, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like the He-Man movie told us it ran its course. We weren't, I wasn't out yet. I was still there.
All the kids were playing with Thundercats and Transformers were on their way out by that point, but it was Thundercats at that point. And honestly, man, like, I see 87. I want to say the real Ghostbusters had more leverage, and Micro Machines and shit had more leverage on the schoolyard than I mean, He-Man. That felt like it was 10 years like too late when you're a kid. Like, it really wasn't, but it felt because of our age, you know.
Yeah. But I mean, I liked most of that stuff, you know. I was like,
Cops was on. I mean, 87. Does a Turtles cartoon come out in 87, or is it 88?
Yeah, but it's kind of weird though, because there's like a weird difference between like when that stuff like takes over and like when it is introduced. I think like the
Turtles cartoon hit hard and fast though. Like,
yeah.
It didn't take.
Oh yeah. No. And I'm saying that feels like a completely different like childhood than Transformers, He-Man, and Mask, and like almost like kind of Thundercats feels in between that. For me,
yeah, because it was 86.
Yeah. But all right, guys, we're gonna end the show. We're gonna do it. Thanks for hanging out with us today, Bespin, and for bringing all the articles.
Thanks, Bespin.
Yeah,
so thank you, Bespin.
Yeah, so you're welcome, motherfucker.
I said thank you, Bespin. Talk.
Yeah, Costanza can't stand ya.
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go.
It's not about spaceships.